Alright, welcome back to my channel. I apologize for taking a hiatus for a couple of months. Pandemic has been crazy, and now we're just getting back into the swing of things. So tonight I just want to show a video of myself. I just want to record myself actually flying around after not having flown for quite some time, and I'm actually testing some new streaming equipment, so I also wanted to see what that looks like. So I'm just going to do a couple of circuits, and if all goes well, I'm going to continue practicing like this so you can see my progress. Again, the journey has been to try to go from a hobbyist to sort of a 3D flyer, but I don't think I'm going to go that route anymore. I kind of enjoy flying scale maneuvers, but we're going to see what I'm able to do. So this is after not touching the helicopter or the sim for quite some time. I'm actually flying, looking at a tiny screen as I'm trying my live stream setup. So, of course, it's a lot harder to see what I'm doing, but we're going to try to see what it looks like on a tiny screen. Yeah, screens in Atomos Shinobi. That's the screen that it's probably a 5 or 6 inch screen, so it's really difficult to see. Ooh, there he goes. Right into my face. Anyways, I'm going to try this again, so I'm just going to try some basic orientations. I can actually fly better than that, but flying on a tiny screen is a challenge. Maybe I should configure my computer differently so that I can actually see what I'm doing. So, yeah, before the hiatus, I was able to do some loops, some rolls, some turns, inverted flight, and everything like that. So I haven't been to the field since the start of the pandemic, really, maybe just a couple of times with some of my flying buddies, but in the wintertime I usually stay indoors because it's cold, especially in an open field, and the wind is blowing, so that's usually not very comfortable for me, at least. I know there's some of the guys that go out there and they brave the cold, and that's them, but for me, I like to stay warm. There we go. So earlier I was practicing how to fly in reverse. I won't try on this small screen because, again, it's a tiny little screen, but okay, there I am. I'm able to go a little bit backwards. There you go. I think if you really want to push yourself, you should try flying on a really small screen. It's going to test your eyes and your ability to sense what the helicopter is doing and really focus on the inputs, which is what I'm doing right now. I try not to lose orientation, which I already did. There we go. So, if you're just getting into helicopters, I gotta say this is an extremely rewarding hobby. You will never grow bored. There's always something to learn and something to do with this hobby. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna land and make sure you can hear the helicopter sounds, because you're probably listening to this and not hearing a single thing. So let me land right here. Okay, now you should be able to hear the helicopter audio as well too. We'll see how that goes. All right, here we go. Should sound a lot better. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what equipment am I using to stream directly from my computer to the web? I'm using an Atem Mini Pro, going out from a MacBook Pro, HDMI out, and I'm using the second display to send a signal out to the Atem Mini Pro, and from there I'm streaming directly onto the internet. So that's probably the easiest way, at least that I've found. For audio, I'm using an SM57 microphone for those who are into that kind of stuff, and I really like this mic. It's affordable. I think it sounds great, and I'll be using this for the rest of my streaming events. And so I'm hoping to if I can get myself onto a schedule, stream maybe every Thursday, and during the week, as I promised last time, I'll be working on maneuvers and practicing them, and then this showing them live, so that puts a little bit of pressure. So I'm not recording this ahead of time, and I'm not dropping the audio in it afterwards. You're actually seeing me fly live, and we're going to work through the basics to get started. So again, my focus would be for, if you're like me, you know, not a sponsored pilot with no aspirations of being a sponsored pilot, but you just want to fly and get out there, I'll share with you some of the things that I'm working on to just be a better pilot and be comfortable. So one thing that I've learned in my, now it's been 5 years of flying off and on, is that smooth controls is key. You want to be gentle with the controls, and that's going to allow you to fly a whole lot better. And then also, I've had 0 crashes the last 2 years that I've been flying down here with my real helicopters. On a sim, you can crash as much as you want, but before the pandemic, I would spend maybe 15-20 minutes a day practicing on the sim before I go to the flying field. And flying field, I would only do maneuvers that I'm really comfortable with, so I don't try to do anything that I'm not comfortable with, because I don't like tearing my helicopters apart and rebuilding them over and over. So, but on the sim, I use that to experiment and crash as well. That's what I get for just not paying attention. All right, here we go. Some inverted. This sim is by far my favorite. There's another sim that I used to use back in the day, and they no longer make that sim. So this one is it, and this one feels pretty realistic, so you can get a feel for the maneuvers. But I use it really to help me focus on my coordinated flights and so forth. So there it is. Okay, so I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to land right here. Thanks for tuning in. Hoping to just get back into streaming. And then also, for those who are wondering, yes, I'm going to, once it gets warmer out there, I'm going to throw my GoPro on the helicopter again, and I'm going to create those videos that seem to get a lot of traction out here. I do like the onboard videos, so I don't do FPV. I simply mount a GoPro on the helicopter, and I like to watch the video afterwards. What I really do is, for me, is to see how smooth I am applying the controls in real time, because you may think that you're flying smoothly, but in reality you're jerking around. So the GoPro doesn't lie, it tells the truth. So again, thanks for tuning in. Happy flying. Continue practicing. You're only going to get better. And thanks for tuning in.